around here?
Daddy.
We call him Daddy. You gotta put a little flavor on it. Please help me welcome the only father in my life that came back. My stepdad. Andrew Mayetta's coming to the stage. You had a dream? I had a dream about you last night, bro. It's a true story. Let me get you a fresh mic. I'm gonna tell you about the dream I had while I'm setting this up. So I had this dream about you, which was really strange. Not because you were in it. I dream about you pretty often, but this particular dream was strange. We were hanging out at your hotel. You were doing one of your shows, and it was weird because Bill Clinton showed up. And he knocked on the door. I don't know why, because it was like a hotel room, but he like rang a doorbell. So it was like, boo, 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 boo. And we were like hanging out in the hotel. So you open the door, and Bill Clinton's there, and he goes, "Hi, what are y'all doing in there? Hey, what are y'all doing?" He's like, "You already rang the doorbell, Bill, and the door's open. Why are you knocking? Listen, why don't y'all come over to room 303? We got hot tubs and bee-hotches out here. We're pumping Crystal all night, okay? And I got my good buddy Barack's over there too."
There you go.
And so we get over there. Like, you're like, "Yeah, come on, we'll go over. We're gonna hang out with Bill Clinton. This is gonna be sick." So we're hanging out with Bill over there. And then, sure enough, he's got former President Obama's over there. He's like, "Hello, Bill. I told you to stop inviting random people over here. All right? I know the parties are better for everybody when we spread the love around. You know." He's like, "But we've only got like 4 cases of Cristal, and I don't know if that's going to be enough because you got all these Playboy bunnies coming over." And then, out of the closet comes Chris from Family Guy. I was like, I don't know, Bill and Barack, they're telling me that we're gonna have a party, but there's a monkey in the closet over there. It's gonna be real scary. And about that time I woke up. So I don't know what happened, but that was the party. That's what was going on. So anyway, please make some noise for my stepdad, my mom's favorite, Andrew Mayetta. He's the only guy I know that has received 4 cease and desist letters from Sam Kinnison's estate. I don't know what's going on there. I don't even know why they would send him a cease and desist letter. Like, what have you been doing, bro? Anyway, let me pass it off to my good friend.
Wow. I don't think Sam Kinnison's comedy would make it today. The cancel culture. And I have one question for you. What did you eat before bed? Okay, all right. That makes sense.
Wait. First of all, you know where his mouth was. Why are you asking the question?
Okay, so does that mean it's what did I eat before? Never mind. You really want to take a fantasy trip into Dreamland? Eat Doritos right before bed. That will mess. You don't need drugs. That will mess you up. Holy God. But so yes, my name is Andrew. My professional name is Horror Show Jack, and I'm going into new ventures. So I'm going to become a small town cult leader. We're not going to sleep with your wives. We're not going to endanger your children. We're not going to lock ourselves in a giant barn and set it on fire. Yes?
You can use this as your church if you want.
Okay. Because I'll tell you, all I want is a monthly fee because I need more money. But if you do like shirts like this and this kind of humor, bloodygorgeous.com. My friends make these shirts, and we got it at a show, Scares of Careless, 2 weekends ago because I wasn't here last week. When you travel and work as much as we do,
I tried to call, but your voice
the weeks blend together. I'm lucky I know 1, what day it is, or 2, what month it is. So I've got a funny story about a woman who took a liking to at Scares of Care. She's dressed as a camp counselor from Friday the 13th, and she's walking fine, but she's also walking with a cane. And she keeps coming back to the booth, and all we keep is like, "Do you think she's on something? I don't know. Do you think she's on something?" So then she leaves, and I start laughing because I normally do that to myself. I come up with these ridiculous ideas. And I said, "I just came up with the ultimate 2022 Halloween costume. Get a giant Coke can, you walk around with a cane. People are like, oh, you're soda." No, I'm cocaine. Yeah, that's a grown joke. That's a grown.
Oh, that's a bad joke.
So, hey, it can't all be as gold. They can't all be gold. You know, although
That's a daddy
someone said,
joke.
I won't name names, but someone said they wanted to open up for me tonight and they chickened out. And I'm gonna say you got a sample of their comedy, and he's always on point. So Maverick, you better write some material next week, man. So, has anyone here?
read. How can I write?
You know how you confuse a drummer? Hand him sheet music. I used to be a drummer, that's why I know that joke. But anyone here ever seen the movie Wishmaster?
Woo!
Okay, there's like 2 people. All right. Yeah, there's about 9 people here. Maybe. Oh wait, a couple more. So, the main character, the main actor who played the Jinn in Wishmaster was one of the guests at Scares and Care last weekend. 2 weekends ago. See, I keep getting everything mixed up. So we got there on Thursday and we set everything up, checked into our room. Now we're gonna go. My friends want us to go to an Italian restaurant, and so worth it. We're walking out and I noticed the actor's walking through the lobby with us. He goes, "Hey man, that's a bitchin' hat." He's talking about this one, and he goes, "I'm like, oh thanks." He goes, "Can I see it?" I'm like, "I've been wearing it all day and sweating." He goes, "Oh, I don't care." So I take it off and I hand it to him. He puts it on his head and just starts walking away.
Just photos.
And I'm like, that's an $80 hat. You're not going. You got to give it. He just stops as soon as I said $80. He turns around and hands it right back to me. Now you think that's where the story ends? No. We go and talk to him during the weekend. We get some stuff signed. Very, very nice gentleman. Then when we're breaking down on Sunday and I go in to get my truck, I'm walking through the lobby and I run into him again. And I like to express these people because when they're nice and they talk to us like we're on the same level as them, because we really are. They sleep, they eat, they shit, they take showers just like us. They pay some of them pay their taxes. But I went up to him like, dude, I want to say thank you so much for making this weekend that much more better. Because this show it's always a good time, it's always fun. And when you have an encounter like that, it makes it even better. Oh, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. Hey, you want to see a magic trick? I'm like, yeah, sure. He goes, give me your hat. And I'm like, I'm not falling for that again. And I just walked away. So, has anyone been to a social gathering recently, or you're hanging out with a bunch of your friends and you look around the whole room and everyone's on their cell phone? Does that happen to anyone here?
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to tell you what I do to these people when I realize you're hanging out with 5, 6, maybe 80 of your friends, kind of like how we're doing right now, and you just look up and everyone's on their cell phone. And I just stop, I wait, and no one looks up, and I'm like, you know, back in the 80s and 90s, when we had a party, we actually talked to each other, and then every single person with a cell phone does the same thing. Click, click, click. Click, click, click. And then your phone goes off and they're all texting you the same thing. So, was that you? Maverick? This is why I should hide my notes before the show, because Maverick writes, Maverick loves you. And someone drew a penis on my nose.
That's for our private time later.
Oh my God. So, this story is literally 10 years old. I was at a bar, and this is the first time my business name was getting recognized, because I went out to see a friend's band play, and a friend of mine's talking to me, and she uses my business name, and says, you know, well, you are Horror Show Jack. And this girl walks in, he's like, wait, you're Horror Show Jack? And I'm like, this is the first time this has ever happened. And I'm like, yeah, her and her friend. She goes, all right, I have a horror question for you. I'm like, so my first thought is, oh shit, she's gonna ask me something from the classics. Now, I have basic knowledge of the classics, but even though I live and breathe horror, I am not a horror connoisseur. I can't name everything for you. And she looks at me and asks me one question. She goes, who is the original killer in Friday the 13th? Now, I have to censor this because there's a rule. Oh, he's gone? Well,
That's why I made the anal joke earlier.
oh, well, I looked at her and I honestly, it's been 10 years. I can't remember whether I said, are you kidding? Or are you kidding? And she goes, no, I'm serious. I want to know if you know this. I'm like, okay. Jason's mother, Pamela Voorhees, played by Betsy Palmer. She was the original killer. And there was actually supposed to be no supernatural encounters in this movie. They added in Jason, played by Arlene, the young kid who comes out, grabs Adrienne King, pulls her off the boat, who played Alice, and then they were supposed to be one and done. Then they came out with part 2, which originally was supposed to be Warrington Gilliard, who played Jason, and he couldn't do his own stunts, so he's only the guy who crashes through the window, the unmasked Jason, which is Steve Dash. And her eyes are just getting wider and wider. So he did all the stunts, and there's a whole big beef between the two of them because Warrington Gilliard got all the credit for it, and now all things have been brought to light, and Steve's getting the notoriety. Then part 3, Richard Broker, who first guy to wear the hockey mask. Hockey mask is because I found out from Derek Mears, who played in 2009, that there was a fire in the makeup van, and it ruined the bag, the flannels, and the overalls. So someone on the set goes, well, what are we going to do now? He's like, well, we can use the hockey mask from the prank in the movie. And he's like, oh yeah, serial killer wearing a hockey mask in the woods. That's going to go over well. So her eyes are almost popping out of her head at this point. I'm like, then Friday the 13th, Final Chapter, Part 4, played by Ted White, who's actually not credited because he was afraid it would hurt his career because he's done a lot of family movies. And he's like, now I'm playing Friday the 13th, Jason Voorhees. Then Friday the 13th, Part 5, The New Beginning, where it's not really Jason, it's people imitating Jason, played by Dick Weiner. Yeah, go ahead. It really is his name. Tom Morgan, who's also a pirate in Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl, also played Michael Myers in Halloween 4. And the third guy, don't know, doesn't matter. Then, part 6, they bring Jason back. It's Undead Guy. So it's C.J. Graham, who just got out of the military. He said, hey, you want to be Jason in the Friday the 13th movie? And he's like, yeah, sure. Then, the legendary Kane Hodder, who played him in 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then in 2009, it was Derek Mears. But before that, it was Ken Kissinger, who played Jason in Freddy vs. Jason. But he also played Jason in Friday the 13th, Part 8, and Jason Takes Manhattan because they wouldn't let Kane do the stunt when they hit Jason with the car. And Kane's like, I've done this stunt so many times. Why don't they even do it? We don't want you to get hurt. He's like, I'm not going to get hurt. Then she's just like, And I'm like, oh, did I forget to mention that's my favorite slasher series, and I've met all of them? And she's like, okay, and just bowed her head and walked away. My friend standing next to me just goes, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, she asked me a stupid question. I'm going to give her an unbelievable, outstanding answer. Now, we live in the year 2022, and there are still people who are this stupid, and I really hope there's none of them in here because I'm going to ruin your reality. Do we have any flat earthers in the room? Flat earthers?
No.
No? Okay, good. I love you guys. I don't want to offend anyone here. But I really want to encounter a flat earther just to destroy their way of life, just to destroy their philosophy with one word. I can prove to you with one word, the earth is round. Cats. Cats. If the earth was flat, those little bastards would have pushed everything off the side by now. And if you don't believe me, you want to come over my house and see what my cat does? He's like, you're not paying attention to me. I'm not going to break that. So, before I moved down here, and before I moved out on my own like everyone else, I used to live with my parents. So my parents had this beautiful townhouse, and I had a basement apartment. And the only thing my basement apartment didn't have was a bathroom. So I had the bathroom in the foyer, that was mine, and I had a shower upstairs. So I come home late from a bar, and Bud steals all the glory from the hot women. And you know what? I'm perfectly okay with it because that's my girl over there, so it doesn't matter. Have a drink. So I get up in the middle of the night and I have to pee. So, and I don't know what it is with houses, foyer bathroom, there's always a window right here. So if the blinds aren't closed and someone comes to the door, it's like, yeah, I'll be right out. But it's the middle of the night, so obviously I'm not worried about that. But I'm in a daze because I was at a bar. I was not drunk. I was buzzed. And I look outside and I see these orbs floating in my front yard. A very weird feeling to have, like, what is going on? You're just standing like this. So I finish, wash my hands, and I'm just in my pajamas, so I open the door and I go outside. Now I'm feeling the X-Files theme in my head. I'm like, what is that? And then I realized they're really low to the ground. My parents bought solar-powered lights, put them in the ground, didn't tell me. So I wake up the next morning, go up to my mom's like, next time you buy solar-powered lights, and I'm going out drinking that night, please tell me. She's like, why? Because I'm like, the neighbors must think I'm crazy because I'm wandering around the front yard in my pajamas at 4:30 in the morning. Anyone here like amusement parks and roller coaster rides?
Yeah.
You want to know what the most expensive ride you can take? And you can go on it through a phone call. $5,000 for an ambulance ride. If I ever need an ambulance, guess what? I'm gonna die. I don't have that kind of money. I don't want to spend that kind of money. So I'll close with this. So, yes, my professional name is Horror Show Jack. I make customized fangs and sell horror teddy bears. And when I'm not making the fangs, I'm sitting in my living room with Angela coming up with horrific ways on how to kill these bears. Does that make me a bad person? Because people buy this stuff, and I gotta be honest with them. When I tell people what I do for a living, it's like, yes, I sell fangs and hard tippings. Like, you do what? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, there's a market for that? Apparently, because that's my whole income. But what I really want is, I want to get into the movies. I want to be one of those people that you're sitting in a room with people coming up with ideas on how to make kills